Am I in the right spot? Is this the right place? Robbie, I'm glad I didn't get it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I didn't get it because if I would have gotten it with this whole with the money thing being all fucked up, like I don't know if we'd be able to pay for it all. Is Ravage streaming?
All right, can you guys hear me now? Finally. Oh my god, thank God. I don't know why it does that. Every time I start a stage on Discord, it breaks me. Okay, let's talk and get into it because I don't want to take this forever because you guys don't have time for that. I wanted to have a meeting to go over. There's some outrage over the drug changes with the meth. And what is wrong with Ramee? Ramee, what is wrong with you?
What do you say?
Discord rules, Ramee. Discord rules. And they call Curtis the Erper. Okay. So I wanted to talk to you all today regarding the fact that there was a lot of outrage over the meth price reduction with the drug system. And I think the best place to start is with giving people pure, unadulterated facts. And I think we need to look at these facts and realize that there was indeed a problem, and that just because you go and something seems different for a moment, that doesn't mean that the change that was made was wrong. And sometimes what we have to do is to have an open mind. There are problems with the drug system, don't get me wrong, and there are a lot of improvements that we want to make that I'll talk about in a little bit.
There's so many people in here. Holy fuck.
The first thing I want to do is run you guys through the facts, because we can't be having a conversation on things like the drug system on the server where I have a large amount of facts and data that the rest of the community isn't equipped with. And I think that's the first thing that we have to really address here is we have to get all on the same page on just pure numbers. And I worked with 𝒊𝒛𝒛 earlier today to grab all that before I went to work, and now I'm ready to present it all. It's all ready for me. The first thing I want to show you guys is overall meth sales on the servers over the last 15 days. The things I want you to take note of are that 196,563 units of meth were sold with $44,971,000 in money earned on the server, which is an insane amount.
Wait, what did he say?
Next up, what I want you to understand is that was spread over 648 total unique number of dealers. Yeah, I can zoom in for you.
How do I wait? What am I watching something?
That's a lot of money. Over 15 days for just methamphetamine on the server, for $44 million, almost $45 million to be generated like that. That is insane. Now,
45 million.
By comparison, this includes one of these was all players and one was all characters, which is easy to see here which one is which. And you can see the total doesn't change too much. This is the thing I want to highlight the most to you is that 293, this is overall drugs. Now, this includes meth. So let's compare. Overall, meth dominated 196,000 items sold, while the overall drug game was 293,000. But look at the money generated. 44 million to 59 million. So that means all other avenues of selling drugs is 15 million on its own, compared to 45 million basically for just meth. Now, if that doesn't start to like at least show there is some sort of imbalance on the server or that it was inflated, I don't know what will. And I think that's a reality we have to, before we get into the conversation, we have to accept. The next thing I want to showcase to you is, I'm going to out a lot of people here, don't use this in character, is this right here. This list I want to show you is the total amount grinded in less than 2 weeks by a large number of the server. You'll see people here: Ethan, 662,000.
Holy shit.
LPG, 6112. Togi, 542. You can see going down the list that the amount of money that was being generated on a less than 2-week basis by a large amount of players on the server was reaching an insane amount. And this is only the top 25. This is a lot. Now, what I want you guys to compare to is come over here, and this is the top 50 earners of players that are selling. This includes all drugs on the server. And you'll see there's only like one person that really stands out that's like different on this list, but overall, these lists are almost 1-to-1. All drugs on the server is this list. This is just people selling meth. Yeah. All 50 need to be banned, Rami? Does that mean we need to ban cow? Are you advocating for the ban of CG members, Rami? Because that's what it sounds like right now.
Bro.
Yeah. That's messed up, Rami. So this is the thing I really wanted to point out here, because this is what a lot of our player base isn't really adding up, in my opinion, in totality. And that's the importance here is we need to look at the facts, and we all need to be on the same page. Okay? Very important, because if we're going to have an honest conversation.
Okay, Ravage. God damn it, what's this guy?
We love this. I hope you can hear me again. Yeah, my Discord crashed. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's the reality situation. We have to have this information. You had to be equipped with it. You have to understand it. So to understand what happened yesterday, I'm going to go into the specifics of this. Okay?
I don't do that
so this is the thing. So we had multiple problems with the drug sales. Some of them addressed in announcements. Number one is where people were selling. Number two is people abusing the places they were selling, and numbers rules consistently being shirked over and over and over and over and over again. This is not a small issue. It is made up. When I did up the math, it was 20% of our overall reports on the server. And I've already put the statistics out on the number of reports that we get on the server. They number in the thousands, right? Like, I don't think people understand the scale of people reporting each other on these servers, right? It happens a lot. So when you start to scale that up, you're talking about hundreds of reports on people breaking numbers on drug sales, okay? Or breaking numbers on drug sales, or on top of that, selling in a way which is completely anti-roleplay. Selling in a tree out in the woods, selling on a hill out in the woods, selling in places that just don't make sense, okay? So now you're equipped with all of this knowledge. We have all of that, right? So now let's look at the bigger problem. The bigger problem that we have here is not just the money generated.
Jay, thank you for the tier 3 sub,
in the mess
man.
scene, and I want to acknowledge that too, because I think that's important.
How was your nap?
There has been RP that is developed in terms of like the provider sales market, which is cool to see. And there's a good few people that are starting to do that, which is awesome. That's providing a lot of role play on the server. I really like that. That's something I love. Okay, that's great. People RPing when they sell, we love that. We love that as well. That's great. Next up, all that though, we have to fix the problem still, right? The problems are that a lot of people are doing it wrong.
What's that noise?
Or people are getting too caught up in the moment, and when they finally get cornered, they're being put in a position where
what's that noise?
Can't enforce anything, which removes the LEO portion of the role play.
Is that
and
me,
then
chat?
On top of that, the other thing that we're getting into that's becoming a problem is the cops are completely unable to role play it. They're completely unwilling to go to these drug calls because they're completely being outnumbered and outmanned, and it is absolutely pointless for them to go there. And then when they go to these different drug calls, and even when they take pictures, they're having the inability to actually go and enforce it. So you're missing the law enforcement role play almost completely in the drug scene, which right now, which kind of sucks, right? So let's put that over there, right? Let's put that in a pile. Yeah, just pretend to throw up with, oh my, I was going to make a vomit sound, but I won't do it, Hutch. So those are huge issues. And then the other issues are that you know, we want role play hubs on the server, but not at the expense of other things happening. So like, let's just use K-Town as an example, because I know a lot of people won't get offended. You know, like I know like all the CG people aren't going to get offended if I use K-Town as an example. Or maybe they will get it. Maybe he's out of here. They might get offended. They might not get offended. So the reality is that you go to K-Town, and it's not any person I'm blaming on this, but you have a group of people selling on one corner and the other corner, another corner, and then you can't control everyone, right? So what ends up happening, and the reason why this is the big reason why this is happening, and we saw it yesterday, okay? There's a higher, depending on the PED that you sell in, or like the area of town. Like the GTA has some things that where you can kind of designate where the richer versus like I guess poorer PEDs are, right? And there's a range, and that's how we kind of calculate it, right? In terms of like what the return is.
Did he just say I sold the what?
The money. So in richer areas, you get a bigger payout. K-Town was listed based on like the base GT, the formula they were using. K-Town had the highest rate of return. Okay. So this was why people were coming there, and why I was able to not just, it wasn't just role play, it was also the return, the money return. So that was an issue. So I'm talking about like 125% versus 100%. So it was like a 25% buffer in that area. And there's other areas that are like that throughout the city that are less pronounced. And obviously they went to that area because they get role play. But we nerfed meth yesterday at a rate of 25%, right? Across the board, because meth as a whole is just making too much money across the server. We also nerfed the richer areas. So what ended up happening is the higher end stuff all got nerfed by 20, 30, 40%. And then there were other areas now that were at the 100 or 105%. So people just went to K-Town and they started to sell their meth, because that's where most people were fleeing. And what ended up happening is, instead of it being like a 20 or 25% nerf, they're all there, and it's like 50, 55%
to buy their 17 supercar.
They didn't go and check anywhere else. They didn't go down the street. They didn't go to another corner. They didn't go somewhere else to check and see what happened. And that was the problem. It wasn't that meth was nerfed so horribly. I mean, a quarter is a good bit.
No, he didn't. He said that, Punisher?
People assumed meth was nerfed by 50%.
Where?
It wasn't. It was not. And if you went around the map and people actually experimented with game systems and mechanics, you'd be able to figure that out.
He said that?
Now, there's two problems here. Number one is that people didn't do the role play to go around and figure it out or try to do something with it. That's an issue, right? That's issue number one. Is at one point people would go around and try to figure it out to be like, oh, well, if it's not selling here, maybe it got switched around.
Not to name
maybe
it,
switched around the zones. Maybe we did this. Maybe we did that. Okay. The other issue we have here is that some of the game mechanics that were
I love these little group chats. It's fun, bro. I love these little group chats every result.
One of them was broken, which gave us a better understanding.
I see Mr. K and Ricky Riz walking to K-Town together, and Ricky was holding his pockets.
And came up so high, and people didn't see the benefit as much of selling their gang drug. Is this something we didn't know? We were wondering why. Maybe people just hadn't figured it out, right? So one of the things that broke, and was the intention of the system, is the fact that your gang drug, you're supposed to be able to lace into a joint, and then you get the citizens addicted in an area, and one of these zones that is talked about,
to talk shit
and then
to each other.
eventually that allows you to be able to sell the gang drug, which is the bigger money maker.
What is? What did he say? I haven't heard a word he's Ravage said
on route to be fixed and shipped. So that should solve some of the issues with people feeling like there wasn't a lot of RP to the gang drug. So that was a broken system. Number one, I'll admit that straight up. But number two, so these things, you know, when you start to factor in the fact that the reason why we dumped meth down a little bit.
I found Ricky Riz exploiting drug sales in K-Town before.
Can we get a safety warning added to Venus Record songs? I think that's a great idea, because you have to add a safety warning technically to your Twitch stream. So It would make sense that we have to add them to Venus. Yeah. Yeah, we'll tell Niasu that. Get it done, Niasu. I see you typing. So
What is it?
that's
Zelge, what is he talking about?
Now. We raised back meth price a
you
little
here,
bit
Zelge?
and evened out. My God, this is Niasu's fault. So we've raised meth prices by 10%, and we've tried to even out the board a little bit in terms of where gives you what payout. Again, just to see the return. But I don't think that we should have had to do that. I think that was, I don't necessarily agree that we made that decision, to be fair. The developers decided to do it.
Can somebody tell me what he's talking about?
That's fine.
Sorry, I have a touchdown of...
I think the bigger issue here is that we have to have more faith in the development team with these systems. And I really need the trust and faith in the player base to test and look at things a little bit more holistically than initially saying, this is bad, this sucks, I'm done. And that's the big point here is like, I need that faith in the player base. People need to have that faith in our dev team to try and test things, please, from a simply role play perspective. Please, God. Because the next step is what we need to do to fix the drug system as an entirety. Obviously, there are issues with the drug system that include the fact that they gave way too big of a buff, right? Way too large. We had the same problem with these green and blue pills. I acknowledge that. I think the developers understand that. And then once you start upgrading those drugs, they get a little too crazy with the drug upgrades. So we need to fix that, right? And we're on the way to doing that. The reality is, though, is that there is going to have to be a little bit of a rollback on some of these drugs as we get into it. We're about to open the new drug room.
Who is Pandora?
With the new drug being offered on the server. And with that's going to come a bit of a rollback on and nerf on some of the drugs.
What did Ramee say?
But I think this will be fine because one of the benefits of the gang drug also is that when you sell that drug, what is the system is programmed to do is to lower other gangs' influence and to raise yours. So there's going to be a lot of RP still around this gang drug. I think the biggest thing I want to get out of here is to hear from the players in terms of what it is that gives you more role play around these drugs, right? Is it making some of them more exclusive? Is it spreading out the benefits of the drug? What makes this something you want to interact with?
So that's what's happening?
What made the people that are doing the meth game, what made you want to be a distributor? What made you want to buy from the distributor? Because that's the thing we need to encapsulate going forward. That's the thing we need to figure out. The other thing we need to figure out is how do we make it, can we get rid of the hiding your location from the snitch, then also make it more player-to-player interaction? But how, Ramee? How? So that's what I want to understand from people, is how do we make the role play systems in this better? And I want to hear that from the players. Like, what makes you want to interact with someone that's selling this stuff in bulk? What made you want to interact with it here in this system? And what will make you do that?
I want a GIF. Can somebody make me a GIF? A permanent GIF, like a GIF.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to take some questions. Put your question and tag me in the chat, or what you want to say, and then we'll bring you back up. Also, I want to hear about right now. PD can't do a whole lot when it comes to these bigger drug operations, even though they want to. What tools do you guys think are okay to give PD to make them better equipped to go out and do this that seem fair and balanced? This Ramee wouldn't be invited to this. This is why I usually do anything community based on the weekends, by the way. It's right here. This is a prime example. It's when Ramee's asleep.
Wait.
All right. Tag me with your question and then request to speak, and I'll bring someone up, or your statement. Okay, you know what, Doug? Come up.
Hey,
How's it
what's
going,
up?
Doug?
Pretty good, man. How are you? So the biggest problem that I found is I joined not that long ago, and I was quite literally given documents on how to get a perfect hooked and everything that I need.
No,
Like
but Icon,
within
can I get it?
a
How do I
day.
get it? Like on like
Now,
like everywhere. You know what I mean?
the
You know what I'm
barrier of
saying?
entry should be higher for smaller groups versus gangs. Gangs should, obviously have that easier access to that information. But gangs should be more inclined to attack other gangs' cooks, which I don't really see happening that much. I'm sure it does happen, but I feel like it should be happening more.
Yeah, one of the problems we have on the server right now, I think, is that there's just meta unlocks being thrown around. We've had this issue a lot ever
I don't
since
know,
we
Hazard. I just want a
implemented
GIF out there.
documents.
I want a
People give
GIF
away
of us out there.
information
You know what I
like
mean?
it's with no price attached to it, and that's the problem. I don't know how exactly we fix that, but that's a fair point. Is that it needs to be harder to at least get into these bigger, higher end things. I agree with you. How we do that's another question.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Doug.
No problem.
Okay, Mean Queen, I want to unpack that one.
Hazard, come on, bro.
Hi.
Hey,
How's it going? Do you want to put your question out there?
yes, sorry, I was dealing with the kids. I just was wondering with everything that is so expensive, like houses, like I know a lot of people just put a lot of money down on houses and cars and repairs being 2 times the amount. Like I'm kind of worried that I won't be able to keep up if I'm not grinding 24/7 because of like the cut and meth. And I understand like it's a lot, but there also is a lot of risk that come with it with like cook counters and cops getting you while you corner and people robbing you while you throw. Like it's not always guaranteed to keep your money, right? So I'm just curious of like what your thought is with that and how expensive everything is
I
and
mean,
being able to keep up without like grinding 24/7.
to take your question on the grinding piece, because well, not sorry, the grinding piece, the risk piece for the meth. I think the biggest thing is like you can now pay to avoid the snitch, right? On top of that, you can pretty much sell without any interference whatsoever with cornering, and the police can't really do anything with the current setup. So the risk is really quite minimal if you really look at it, right? There barely is risk for the payoff with meth, and that's why so many people were doing it. So that's one thing like I have to set the record straight on. Is like for the vast majority of the player base,
Are drugs getting nerfed
at all with meth, and that's why I think it's doing so well. It's one of the big reasons.
I guess maybe I guess you're right, but like with my experience, it was constantly like people trying to mess with us while we're cornering and cops like here in the last couple weeks there was cops showing up like within 10 minutes every time we started cornering and stuff like that. So to me, it felt like there was already such a big risk and then it kind of got tanked, you know.
Yeah, I understand that. So I guess it's really situational in terms of like where you're trying to sell and when and at what time and who is pressing you. Like, but for the vast majority, based on the statistics I'm looking at, there is not any risk.
I am distracted by
compared to
gifts.
The spend out for these players, like all the players in the meth game are basically up big.
Are drugs getting nerfed?
Yeah.
Somebody tell me if drugs are being nerfed.
It's not like it's not even like 10% of people are down, you know, that type of thing. It's like 2% of the people who get into meth are actually down money, which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, the payoff's pretty big. As for the economy stuff, A lot of things like cars and all that are pretty under, are pretty cheap. I think the problem is we don't have enough of these things at the moment, to be fair. So I think my perspective is much different than yours. It'd be
making it so they need to interact with.
I was just from like my experience and everything. It's just curious.
Yes.
on what
Zelge,
your
how do you
thoughts
know?
were, and like, because I'm also a dancer, and it kind of affected that too. As soon as the drug like sales went down, like less people were coming in to throw and stuff like that.
yeah, but that's more of a product of people getting things that need to be laundered versus not, right? You get
Yeah.
that's the big difference. That's a different problem completely. The dancers are something else entirely we have to look at.
Okay.
Yep.
How do
Well,
we?
dude, here, I'm gonna fight.
How
I'm
do we
fighting.
know? They're being nerfed.
You making me talking here, dude?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was gonna let everyone else
out.
talk, but I just think there should be a more variety of drugs instead of like, because at this point, a lot of gangs have drugs where they only need one pill and it does everything, right? Because everyone's so far along with it, and then you don't have to interact or sell with anybody because
You're
you already
nerfed.
have the one drug that
It already
does everything.
happened.
So I think instead of that, you split it up in different types of drugs like heroin, meth, cocaine, whatever, and they each have their own purpose. And you know, there probably could be different variety of ways that gangs could hold these down in a way, but not completely where no one else can do them, but in a way that they can have control and create a market. And then other gangs have to interact with each other and buy the drugs they need for certain effects. And then to fix the problem where everyone's just on the block selling, you could maybe make different ways to sell where there's like a larger
another year.
run, meth run type thing you could do to push bulk orders out there, but it's a bigger risk with the cops. Like if the block is hot, and then of course you can have the normal way of just selling on the block too.
How do I know?
Okay. Yeah, I think I think like I agree with you on making a variety of the benefits, because the problem we have right now is everything's in that super drug, which honestly the super drug was to minimize the fallout of like the green and blue
Wait, hold on.
and whatever else pills.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the big problem.
Zelge, you don't even
And
have
then
me in the damn
rooms were
Discord.
eventually supposed to really fill that role as like
Change
having that big
logs.
smuggling option, you know. But maybe we need
Adjusted
like a
prices for
mid-tier
drugs
option
based on
where
player
it's like you
feedback.
can sell like a medium amount of drugs,
Okay.
at like a big transport type thing that's risky.
Yeah, and I think it'll help cops deal with the drug thing too, because I mean, if they catch someone now, we got, you know, dragon poo, best drug on the market. But if we get caught with that, it's just one thing. But if you have a variety of drugs and you want the
Okay.
max benefits, you have to carry more amount of drugs. So if you get caught by the cops, they'll be able to fuck you over more as well.
I got a question. Just because I haven't known you guys like far beyond Prodigy, is the poo thing like a recurring theme
so
from long ago, or like
Ramee has a bit of like a poo fetish, you could say. So he makes me actually, with the new FaceTime thing, call him every time I wake up and FaceTime him on the toilet while I'm shitting. The guy's just weird. He's got issues, but you know, we don't have to talk about that right now.
even after?
I think we
got
just
married?
move on. Yeah, we just move on. Don't even worry about bringing him in here. All right, but yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Okay. That's crazy.
Bro, don't believe anything this guy fucking says, please. This guy has had a shit fetish. It's been documented for 7 years.
7 years it's been documented. This is lies because today he's been telling me to call him on FaceTime, shitting on the toilet. I don't want to do this shit. He makes me do this stuff. And honestly, I feel uncomfortable with it. So I want to say that right here, right now, in front of everybody.
I think we need a tiebreaker. Who can settle this tie?
Zelge, can I say, can we bring
Who can tell
OTT
the
in?
truth?
Oh, bring in Hutch. Bring in Hutch.
Okay. Okay.
Just kidding. I was kidding. I was
Ramee
kidding.
100% has a poo fetish.
Yeah, he
100%.
does. He literally calls me also and says it.
100%. The guy's a fucking freak.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Like he literally specifically calls and he's like, "Yo, are you shitting right now?" And I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you do this shit all the time?"
100%. I have text.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
I also think when it comes to the drug stuff, I think it'd be really cool if drugs were driven via player to player instead of player to NPC. I feel like the coolest things with drugs, at least whenever I played Crim a couple years back, was the dynamic of gangs
how do I
holding
make
down
money?
specific types of drugs and specific areas, regulating it through themselves. I feel like there should be some type of, with the gangs at least, regulation between each other instead of it just being gangs versus cops, you know?
What's the time and fines on drugs right now? Is it too low?
It depends on what you think low is. For PD, me and Rav and Nox are on the same wavelength. Like, my biggest thing is I don't want you guys as content creators and other people in the server to be punished via your time. I'd rather take your money. So I think they could be raised money wise, but I also don't know how much money Crims and Civs have in the bank right now. You know,
right now, I'll tell you, it's 396 for one meth dollars. It's 800 for 10 plus, and it's 600 for 5 plus. I think those could be raised. We raised the manufacturer to 2,000, 2,000 for accessory, 1,000 for conspiracy, and for being the main person, $5,000. So we could drastically increase those, to be honest.
I say, I say, listen, if you want to do crime, you want to sell drugs, you got to pay the fine. So, I mean, let the fines go up and times keep the same.
Yeah, I'd rather big ass fines and lower times. It's fine with
I
me.
also think a lot of people in the server, right? A lot of, this is just mainly to everybody, you know, watching in the Discord. I think a lot of people are going to have to kind of come to the realization that you're not supposed to be multi bajillionaires with 7 cars, 3 houses, 2 apartments, and any amount of money that you could want. It's not supposed to be, not easy, but you know, you're not supposed to have everything you want. So whenever these balances do come in and you're making less off of drugs and, you know, not affording your house or your car or whatever,
trafficking mechanic.
I think you got to accept that, you know?
Downsize.
Exactly.
I think a group on the server bought a house for like 4.6 fucking million. It's crazy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Hutch, my stomach's bothering me though. So I just want to give you a heads up.
I'll leave, bro. I'll close the Discord. Guys, please.
Yo,
It's been bothering me though, so I just want to give you the heads up though.
Okay, I appreciate that, guys. You fucking cocksuckers.
Oh, it's not working. Fuck, I can't.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Shots, your shit. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that ain't someone throwing up.
It's the dual. Yes, it is. It's the same one as Ramee.
Now, I do want to ask everyone this question as well. Now that we have everyone here, for cops, I know I speak for literally every single person who played cop on the server. How do we fix the swap and block meta? Because
I'm moving you all to the audience. We gotta hear from the community on the drugs.
I just want to ask. I want to ask this one question. One question. I swear. How do we fix it? Please.
Oh, you're getting roasted right now, bro.
Anyways, kick this guy out. Let's get back to the good stuff.
It's a drug question. It's drugs.
Yeah, we're good. You can kick us out.
I think Gav took care of him by the looks of the logs. He kicked him out. All right.
Sounds like he needs to get good. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think everybody that's on the server right now, just go find Hutch and kill him.
No.
I'm joking.
Okay, I want to move you all to the audience and start hearing from the rest of the community. Appreciate your time. Sorry about the poop fetish, Rama. Okay, let's get EJ. That's a good point, to be honest.
Hey, how we doing? So wonderful. So if anyone was around in 1.0, we had weed warehouses, right?
I know,
we would
Alex.
name our strain, and if you were in an organization, you could not sell your own strain. You couldn't sell it. Didn't matter where it was in the city. It wasn't about blocks. You just couldn't sell it. So what it did was drive RP between gangs. We used to do these crazy swaps. I was a member of BCG. Don't hate me. Love BCG. Stop it. So we used to do these crazy swaps with Strictly Business and Noir Cartel and whatever. And we do these scenes where we'd go out on a yacht and there'd be helicopters flying around and guys hanging out with AKs. And you know, we did a scene down in the drip track with everybody took all their cars and neon and yada 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 music and all, and we do these crazy swaps, and it drove an amazing amount of RP. So, and the only way that you could get rep from your drug is if you could get the rest of the city to sell it, to corner it, right? So I think I think that's a good way to one, drive the RP. It's not going to fix the money situation.
Yeah, but Wicked, is it out? Is it around? I have no idea what to talk about.
I have some thoughts about meth cooks too. I don't know. I don't want to throw a million ideas out here because I'll probably get roasted by the community if I throw this one out. Because
I think what I'll do is I'll make a thread for people.
I got it. I got the perfect one.
Hard ideas, but for right now, I kind of just want to hear the opinions that you guys had like typed in chat, basically, right? And you have a good point there on the 1.0 system. What I'll tell you, and I definitely want to give more people a time to talk. That was a system I designed in 1.0 because I figured it gave a lot more role play.
That's gonna set everybody off.
Why we decided not to do that in this one, but it definitely was more role play oriented and something that we should talk about again. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll float that in the thread and then see if people can kind of rehash why they didn't like. There's gonna be some people that don't like anything you put out, right? So it's potential maybe we lent too much into feedback from the end point of 1.0, which like we had quite a bit of diminished player base at that point. So
right, okay.
But I really like that system too, to be honest. I love
about
that,
Ricky Poopy V, chat. Oh my god.
They couldn't sell their own drugs and incentivize people to actually role play. I thought that was great, and it added like a meta game to it all, right? Where you had to RP to succeed.
Yeah, I agree. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sorry for your bowl cut.
Stop it. I'm not bowl cut anymore, but still along the BCG. Love you guys.
Rhea, come on up. I think you had a decent point there. This is something I brought up in a dev meeting actually the other day in brainstorming.
Yeah. I also brought it up in a ticket.
Oh, nice.
My idea is that like obviously the high price of meth was very high. I think part of the problem is that high price seemed to be our backyard in Mirror Park, K-Town, the observatory, the theater, like the pier. Like there's a couple places and we all know what the places are. And a lot of the RP behind the meth kind of, there's a supplier, there's a buyer, there's people selling materials. So I think we end up driving towards the high prices because we're trying to make up for what we're buying it for from the supply chain, and they're trying to make up for what they're buying the materials for, because the material market is kind of crazy. So my idea was kind of bumping the price back up a little bit for the higher price places, but having them move. Because if you think about the market, if there's 1,000 people selling meth in K-Town, then the supply and demand is less. So then like that supply demand would move to a different place, and maybe those people that aren't being sold to would be requesting or being willing to pay more money, I guess.
Yeah, we talked about that, about it driving down the prices in the region as supply is met, or and demand goes down. We also talked about you guys may not know what this is, polyzoning certain areas almost as an override, which basically means we put like a virtual cage around an area or a block, right? And you pass into that gate of that area, like the block around K-Town, and we override some of those regions. And we do this mostly for places that are, we do places like K-Town or other places that are just like over-tuned, right? Like an overpowered area. And we could also do it for places that are RP hubs. So just say we wanted to make it so
we're talking about fucking banning, I think. I don't even know what we're talking about, actually.
As an example, to have like extremely high rates because of the risk, right? We could do that. Or maybe one of the Venus Records buildings or something like that. Or we could even make them rotate with those prices, right? Into those hotspots, which could be interesting. So, something we talked about.
But I love the Prodigy admins, bro.
Yeah,
They're the best. I swear to God, they are.
I think you are very aware of some of the RP going on about the meth supply chain with a certain group. And so I kind of hate that, like, that RP feels like it's almost kind of gotten taken out at the knees because, we can't afford to buy at the current price that we'd sell for. And so it's just trying to work around that. But
the market has to readjust, just like in real life, when the supply chain and stuff gets hit, and when the prices of things go down, or when inflation happens, like it takes time for the market to readjust as well. So that's something to also keep in a factor, is like people mark things up due to the money that other people are making, et cetera, et cetera. So just keep that in mind as well. But I'm very willing to listen to, like, if you guys conceivably see margins that make the RP no longer feasible. But as you can see by the numbers I just put up, it does not look that way at all.
I know, Jimmy. I want a house,
one
bro.
more tiny question.
I want a house, bro.
A little bit goofier, but can we get the that hair tonic from Red Dead for shots? I think we might need to solve the bald problem. I'm just
that's fucked up.
It wasn't my idea, but I was here, so.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
I have a question. Is the issue the grinders, or is it the people have too much money? What is the problem exactly?
It's both.
Okay, so
it's the grinders have too much money.
But that's not hard though, right? Can't you just add like money dumps and stuff like that? I feel like the bigger issue is that people are just standing still fucking grinding like Momo and Cow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck Cow, right? My life banned him on Christmas, so you don't.
No. But I'm being serious though. So is there a world like the way you nuked the green pill? Is there a world where you can just nuke the entire meth game and then just redesign like a whole new drug? I'm being serious. I'm not even.
Listen, man. If the nerf yesterday didn't salt mine people, that statement you just made did.
I don't care about. I don't care about that.
So the reality is we have to reinvent the entire drug system. We have to add a bunch of different drugs, right?
I'm not high.
Like whether that's cocaine and we need more variety. And yes, there is a world. That's the whole point of this meeting. That is kind of what I want to do in like the next month or so, right? Like over the next month, I want to pave the way to that reality is where we really fix it all up, right? The temporary fix though is like we have to do something, right? We just can't let people print money on the corners. Like PD can't enforce any of these drug sales, and so they're not getting knocked out by PD. Even if we raise the fines, it doesn't really do anything. The other problem is that they're making way too much money. Like it's unchecked revenue in general. And then the last thing is that a lot of the people who just grind can just stand up there and literally almost make $1 million in 2 weeks.
I know, right, Jimmy? Right. It's crazy.
I mean,
that's the only, that was the highest bid, by the way, outside of mine.
You can only sell like 100 bags a day or some shit. I don't know if to like stop the money, but I don't know.
We were gonna do that too, and we thought about it, and then we thought about the people that legitimately were trying to sling that, right?
Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, what RP are you getting from you standing still spamming E? There is no RP there. As much as they want to, like, people want to gaslight and say that in like the town hall chat or to you or whatever. There's zero RP, bro. You're standing still and you're spamming E instead of role playing. Like, and instead of like, so why not just try to add a mechanic instead of getting your own money up? We get like add something like maybe like what Kevin said in the chat, right? Like you can literally add like a run or something, not like where you got to run from cops for 30 minutes, but like, you know, or something that like you can build towards like in 1.0.
Look, there was a guy, 𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒚. I don't know if anyone remember him from the used to be.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Commentating. And 𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒚 used to say this. Another Brooklyn boy. You're from Brooklyn, right?
No. Yeah. Actually, now that I am, yes. Yeah, wink, actually, now that
nudge. Okay. Yeah. So, being another Brooklyn boy, he used to say it's the stuff about the stuff, right? And the stuff about the stuff in this isn't necessarily that them standing on the street corner is providing the role play. It's the stuff that comes before it, which is like the meth deals, like Curtis's meth operation, or like I won't say the other groups because they probably don't want to be outed for meta, but their meth operations as well, and the deals that are coming from that. Like I've seen a lot of them. Like I was doing the narrator stuff the other day and literally witnessed like a bunch of these deals going down, and the role play that created was amazing. There's not a whole lot of role play that's being created from people standing on the corner.
Yeah, I agree. I'm completely agreeing with you.
It is fucking amazing, right? And I don't want to break that.
All right. I mean, I got Chatterbox just DM'd me. He said he wants to be a speaker because he has an idea.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if he actually has an idea. Or he might just troll. We'll see. Here we go.
I'm okay with either, to be honest.
Because I'm gonna be real. Like, there's people like, you know, I'm just gonna say it, Phantom. There's people like Phantom, Momo. You know, they got supercars. I'm gonna keep it a buck, boys. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That, you know, they got like 3 supercars, and you see them at K-Town. But what is the process? So the process is just doing the meth cook, right? I think the process in itself is not as great as like what you just said, to be real as well. Like, I mean, the meth cook is cool and all, but like maybe we do make like a meth lab where like people gotta like, and
funny.
then like maybe you can go to the meth lab and or like some Breaking Bad shit.
That's funny.
I mean, the RV was like season 1 Breaking Bad, but like maybe we can make the meth process like season 3 or season 2 Breaking Bad, where they get a lab and they like, you know what I mean? And they deal with the cartel, and like maybe we add like a cartel or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We could do live. Curtis brought that up to me before about doing like the labs,
That's
and that was my original
putos,
idea with the gang stuff. So,
listen, I'll leave the stage, but if you want to bring Chatterbox, he's asking to get brought up.
I don't see him.
He's there. I
did
see
he
him.
type or
Yeah, he did.
request?
I see him in the audience, right there. He just typed.
Did he? Yeah, that makes it easier for me. Zate, if you have an idea, hey Chatterbox, 1 second. Zate, if you have an idea, type it out before I need to see like the stuff before I bring people up. What's up, dude?
Okay, so just a couple things have been floating in my head. Hutch was screaming and yelling about like the block and swap meta. Now, fixing blocking, that is not like, I don't think you can really fix that, but I'm gonna be real. What about the swapping meta? Okay, car swaps is awesome. Okay, especially for characters like mine, when you're broke as shit and it's kind of like your only option sometimes when you're, you know, if you don't really have a crew that like turns to shooting and stuff. But if you want to do swap cars, why not make it that okay? When you start something, if you have your personal vehicle,
labs would go hard though, chat.
But any swaps after that are local only. You can't like bring in your supercar after supercar. You just, it has to be local cars. Give you a little bit more of a disadvantage if you want the advantage to swap your cars. CG cry about it, motherfuckers. But I'm dead ass serious. It is a way to kind of help, you know, cut back and make it a little bit more balanced, in my opinion. Also, before this update, you guys had a thing. It was like the ATM robberies where you'd like go pull them out of the wall with a shitty vehicle. You rip the ATMs out. I don't believe it's a thing anymore. Correct, Ravage?
Yeah, we took it out to do a couple different other things.
Right. Is there a chance it would come back?
Sure.
Because I'm only saying this because, I said, characters like mine and less like groups that are not very serious like that, don't strive to do like to be powerful or rich or acquire like possessions. What made it so much more convenient to actually survive in that last wipe was literally pulling ATMs out, because you'd get a little bit of cash from it, right? But it's not very easy to get away if the cops do show up. So you have to be creative. And if you get away, now you have a little bit of cash. But if you got caught, the fine is bigger than your reward, which I still agree with, right? I think it would be a nice thing to have little things like that to help less serious characters. And it also will help there be a lot more or less serious characters.
Jimmy, these guys, listen, Chad, these guys know what they're doing, okay? You know what I mean? So, like,
so the things we put in, we tried it like a real pivot for petty crime. And we added a lot of stuff like the robbing of mailboxes, the package theft. You can grab bags out of the back of local vehicles. You can go to like the sneaker shop robbery, which are like, we put those all in as like small little petty crime things.
Okay.
Whatever these guys want to do, Chad, I trust. You know what I'm saying?
That as a new criminal, you don't know about those things, or they don't pay enough, or is it that there just needs to be better options?
Okay, from my point of view, I've only known about I know you could break the back window and steal the bag. That's the only thing I know about.
Oh, okay. So do you think that with that stuff, with the age of the server now, would that be stuff better? We could just put in the get started guide so people see it, or where can we put that to make the path easier? Because what it sounds like to me, you're saying is that it's hard as a petty.
I do have ideas. Chat, I really do have ideas. I know I'm in here trolling.
Yeah.
But like, I do have a lot of ideas. I've always wanted to be more involved.
If I had the unlock on it, right? Like
I've always wanted to be more involved, like on the server side of things. But that'll come with due time, chat. Due time.
Playing,
these guys have been doing this for years. You know what I mean?
I've liked it. Like now is kind of my kick up to it. But like I have Mr. Ratchet, who plays a really shitty character.
Well, like Zelch, I was already thinking that there should definitely be There should definitely be labs. Like we should be able to buy like a laboratory, right? So it kind of separates the people from anybody just kind of walking into meth. Like you have to build your way up to it, right? Getting into a meth lab. I've already been thinking about that because it would just kind of eliminate a lot of people who are just kind of like they just get product together and then they start selling it for 150. You know what I mean? Like it should be more like there should be more build to it. If there's more build to it, less people do it. You know?
Yeah, like it doesn't need to be much. Like petty crime's petty crime, right? Like it just as long as it pays cash in your pocket, like that's perfect. You know.
Oh, I know, Zelge. I trust, but see, you guys know this shit, Zelge. You know what I mean?
No, like
you guys already know this stuff. So like, you guys just do whatever you do. I also think like a large transport would be fire, chat. Like if I got like, let's say that we like more use for bricks. You know what I mean? Rather than just using them for gang missions, we compile a bunch of bricks, right? And then we do like a huge transport run. That's like 5,000 bricks, but it sells for like almost $1 million.
This is my meeting now, you guys. You see that?
No, it's not.
Yeah. Hey, man, what's going on?
Okay. Yeah. So you in some of these things, you get an item and then you go sell the item. Basically, you go to hustle it, right? So there's like a hustling system, and I don't know. Maybe we need to look at the hustling system and just make it because like that used to be when I used to run ProdigyRP. That used to be like the really cool, fun thing, where it's like you'd go and take your goods to try and like get the best deal from a guy,
right?
You know, on the back of your car. And then we made it a little bit cooler, and it'd be, I guess, maybe I need to open up a thread on that to make that awesome because hustling should be cooler than what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay enough is what people are saying.
I've always been a firm believer, especially on RP servers, that like petty crime is always a very, very important key, right? It's just to help everybody, right? Because anybody can do it. And those that don't want to get into the big stuff still have an option to do small, fun things as well. Because if you take that away, it makes it really, really, really difficult not to try to glue yourself into a group that is more serious.
Listen, man, if you got some ideas for some petty crimes, hit me up with a DM with the list of them, and I'll get them done. I think that's the problem right now is like just creativity on petty crimes, right? Like I kind of went deep into it, and to add more, we need. Oh, what is Ramee doing? Stop tying everything. Yes, I read it. Ramee, I read the message the 50th time. And Chatterbox.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had. Yeah, that's really all I had. But the swapping meta, I really think, just local cars only, Oh, actually, sorry, one more thing. I noticed now you can't just pull a local other car and steal the car. Probably for good reasons, because it was really easy to get away because you're just constantly getting in vehicles. Is it all vehicles locked, or is there a small percentage of vehicles that you could get in? Because there was a couple of times where I was able to pull the local out of the vehicle in this wipe. I didn't know if it was scuff or not, though.
There's a low chance that you can. Like 5% or something.
Can we raise it a little bit more? Just a smidge.
We could, but I think I would enrage the entirety of the police department that are sick and tired of swaps. But
that is true.
Let me think about it. I don't know. In terms of car swaps, seems to become a bigger topic.
What is it called? What is it called?
People suggested a rule on how many times you can swap, et cetera, et cetera. I've always been worried about limiting roleplay opportunities.
What is it called?
Putting anything hard.
Oh, it's GPT.
Like that on there.
Right.
We could make consequences for using your own car in a robbery more or any criminal activity much more punishing. But I think those things get really controversial a lot of times.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. So let me think on if people have more ideas. I'm totally willing to listen on that. Maybe I'll open another.
Kevin even mentioned big fines on personal car impounds and stuff like that. Like,
for use in crime.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I myself, I'm not going to give an opinion on that just because I'm never going to have a personal car, so it wouldn't affect me, and it's kind of But okay, thank you very much for hearing me out. Appreciate it.
If I say that, bro, you'd be like, this is exactly what we're trying to get rid of.
+1.
Oh my god!
Don't anyone ever tell me I'm in their pocket again, all right? Especially Ramee. Fuck that guy. So I've seen a lot of the criminals actually in the chat. Some of the bigger criminals are saying that they'd be about a strike system and bigger fines. I'm about it if it's not going to cause an existential crisis in the community, to be honest. If I'll just make sure it's like overly communicated. Maybe Hutch, is Hutch still there? Or did he run away because because of the vomiting. If Chem's there or Hutch or one of the command staff and PD, I think what we do is we start just educating people that we're going to start implementing a strike system and higher fines within a week. And we just start telling people that are using their personal cars in crime over the next week so that we give some good information. I think Zate has been trying really hard to get my attention, and Timac. So you guys request to speak and I'll bring you guys up in a second. And then I think we probably let this go another like 15 minutes, and then I'm going to open threads on this stuff, and I'll
stop aim shaming in Minecraft.
So that I don't keep people here all day. This is a good conversation, and I'll try to have more town halls. You got
yeah, exactly.
Streamers, I usually schedule these on the weekend so that I don't interrupt a lot of your guys' playtime. If you see benefit to these, I usually do these with a presentation. This is kind of last minute due to the uproar of the meth, but I usually do these with a presentation. If you guys think that's beneficial, I'll do them on the weekdays instead of the weekends. Not a character. Yeah, I mean, we could do that, but then that breaks the third wall. I can just invite you up, and I'll get Zate after.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, man? So we do have the impound system. It's already there. It's a bit expensive though. Like I think it goes from I forget what the lowest percentage is. Like we have a 750, a 2000, and then it goes up to like 25% of the vehicle price, which could be 100K or something crazy.
It needs to be redone completely.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of figuring out like the tiered process of it. Yeah, that's why we're not doing it. The max we do is 2K. But that's something that's there. It's just a matter of figuring out the system, whether violent offense or just used in a crime or, you know, things like that to differentiate what strikes would be kind of heavier than others. Yeah, it's crazy. It's the numbers are mental. But that was it. So, I mean, the training part's easy like that. I think everybody's been kind of chill on what we're impounding for. So most of the time, if you might see a 750 or 2K, if anything.
I think any felony should give a point or strike. Honestly, like I think we should discourage personal cars from being used in crime in general. That's kind of my opinion. But I'm kind of hardcore and like old school.
Wait, what?
So.
Like that whole thing of the cars being an extension of the person. Like I don't mind it. I do mind the people that pick the car that's like seems to be the strongest and they use it for everything. That's the shit that I really want to impound, like more than anything.
Yeah.
Those like how many sunrises do we have to chase a day?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm down. Like if you want to, I don't know if you want to do this, you can spearhead it with the PD if you want. Like you just take it and run with it.
Yeah.
And you go and chase down for me like what you think each tier should be and for how long, and I'll make it happen.
Hear me out. Tuner chips and local cars.
We had tuner chips before. We disabled them at the beginning of 1.0.
That was the most fun I've ever had chasing stuff. And people would just be I don't know, they just take local cars and tune them up and just have a variety of shit all the time.
Yeah, we can do tuner chips. That's not hard at all. That's
yeah,
really
fake plates would be fire.
It was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Tuner chips are a little scuffy though with those variables.
Yeah,
they're a little scuffy, but we have access to more variables now and the ability to change them, so we could actually do something fun with that in terms of just how the cars handle and stuff.
I've also heard the suggestion from somebody. Some places will shoot your tires after the third swap, which can get hairy because guns and people get offended very quickly with guns.
I think shooting tires is so shitlordy, and I hate it. And that's just the reality. I hate when you shoot tires because if you shot a tire in real life as a cop, I'm pretty sure it's like felony level in some places, you know, like you shoot the tire and it's extremely dangerous because it can ricochet. And it's like an anti-cop thing.
I don't like shooting. I don't like shooting if I have to, but then again, you know, there's a limit to how often. There's people just need to realize there's a point. Hey, I may have swapped this 5 times here. Maybe I just run. Try that for a change.
Yeah, that would be good.
Anyway, I'd love that. Those are my thoughts. I won't keep you too long. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it, brother. Is Zate still out there and requesting to speak or no? Got it, Steve. Thanks. Smashing meters is one I had on the original list. Stealing tires, car parts. That's already there. Scrapping cars there. Arson. I don't know what you do there. Vandalism, pickpocketing, dumpster diving. Dumpster diving we have. Pickpocketing we have. Vandalism's interesting. Grave robbing. I have PTSD.
What do you mean good, sneakerhead?
And counterfeiting. That's on the. That is something we have at the moment on the backlog. Okay. Is Zeke gonna raise his hand? If not, I'm gonna take someone else up. I think he left. I think he's gone. Eagle's asking about FaceTime and streaming to the server. We're gonna do an Instagram live app like that. That literally is like a version of that. We're doing that.
Fire.
Do I have ideas, plans? Yeah, I mean the helicopters is one. Ramee, it's like.
Can I fly back into the city, chat?
And some. We're also really cracking down on real estate right now. I have we took on a couple more interior designers, and we'll have the entirety of Vespucci Beach and all those houses done probably within the next week and a half to 2 weeks, and then we're gonna move to picking up bigger houses in Chumash and then Vinewood Hills, etc. So
Chumash be
quite expensive, so that should be a pretty heavy money dump as well. So, and then S-Class cars should be on the way as well, very, very, very soon. Utility vehicles also are in. I think Carlos just aren't putting them.
Mr. Ravage.
Yes, slow as 8.
أيوة حبيبي. Okay, I'm gonna dive immediately into it. Legendary coins. The way myth cooking is going on right now is that once you put down the table, you can literally cook for the entire storm. So maybe that part needs adjustment a little bit to pay the snitch to not give the location of you. Maybe set it like for 30 minutes or 60 minutes and make the table expire or die after like a cook, for example, so people don't just sit and cook myth for the entire duration. I don't think myth is necessarily making people rich. It's the cooking endlessly is making people pocket like thousands of myth bags when that should not be the case using one single legendary coin. Maybe make legendary coin also harder to find. Maybe remove it from construction jobs or house robberies. Get it from the dark web.
God, sneakerhead. Can we
make it more expensive, hard to get the hands on. Maybe also another way is to buff myth.
I know, Sneakerhead. I know. Oh my god, the town hall is so much fun. Sneakerhead, I should be banned from all town halls because I can't take it seriously.
To turn it into bricks.
Because I trust you guys, so it's, I know you guys can do whatever you need to do.
Another copy pasta of the myth run, but using myth bags instead of myth bricks,
Zelge.
Like make it a little bit harder from an NPC standpoint.
You fucking
people selling drugs like cornering forever, that is also a huge deal. Like I'm not trying to say anything bad over here. Majority of the other servers I played on, when you like get in the vehicle or move away from the cornering area, you would be put on like a cooldown.
Did you nerf me?
With 30 minutes,
I couldn't drive a car today.
Just like the houses, you can't hit that shit.
Someone fucked me.
Someone fucked me, Loki. If you stop cornering, put a cooldown on that. Also, some people said daily limit. So just like in the menu, you get daily limit on the
don't do it, Cigarette. Don't do it. Oh my god, the town hall chat. I think my favorite time to ever do anything is in the town hall. I love talking to everybody in there. It's kind of fire.
50 bags of meth and 50 joints, like whatever, just a limit from the police department.
Am I banned?
When you open up the gang application and you see these huge circles of locals are getting addicted to your drug in that zone or this.
Zelge, I actually really want to pay for our own like PED. I really want to do it. If GTA 6 wasn't like around the corner, I think I would do it. Like if I knew that this was the game that we had for like the next like 5 years, you know what I mean? I think I would do it. If they would let me, of course. All right, I'm just.
They should have a probable cause to go frisk the dealer.
Is GTA 6 not around the corner?
More interaction.
Bro.
Also, the meth, 99% of
Am I banned?
Would usually sell it to locals and like use it for the gang runs. Maybe if there is ways you can.
I don't have connection to Steam.
Usage for the meth to be used. like outside of being sold, so that it holds some kind of value for people to consume. I think that could also be.
Oh my gosh, Sneakerhead, I cannot thank you guys enough, honestly. Sneakerhead, I can't thank you guys enough. It's honestly been a very life-changing experience, if I'm being honest. You have years before GTA 6 RP. I know, but like, what are we gonna do? Are people gonna? I'm assuming people are gonna be playing GTA 6 like story mode. You know what I mean? But Zelj, how much is a PD, chat? That's gotta be at least like $2,000-3,000 minimum. Oh, Steam is down right now. What's up, Evans? Guard dogs? I don't think they want guard dog spinner because that's just like NPC shit. You know what I mean? Is he on? Are people in? All right, fuck it. We'll just go back until it's done.
To address a couple things out there, some good suggestions. Zayt, I appreciate it.
No, shut up, Derek.
I think some of those are good. Some of the things we've talked about on some of the points that we can fix in terms of like just giving variety more to the drugs in general. The coin thing we talked about earlier as well, in terms of just that's one of the big issues for there not being a whole lot of risk with meth in general, and something that I want to look at. It was put in because there was a lot of community sentiment that the shootouts and stuff coming from the snitch was too much. And
Zelj, can you tell Snickerhead that I've been behaving?
Remove the snitch.
Wait, hold on.
In general for those things.
Sneakerhead, have you gotten good RP feedback at all from me? Like you like, you know, the mod team and like you guys. I don't know if you guys talk a lot or not.
They're daily. They're, you know, people shouldn't be just going to.
I've been pretty good.
Meth cook all day long.
I promise. I talked to Ravage and I promised him that I would try to be better RPer.
The one thing I will address there that I think is important is
Jimmy. I know, bro. Honestly, I know.
You don't think that meth's really making that much money? I think that's kind of the equivalent of, after I've shown all the statistics here, it's the equivalent of me taking you up to you telling me the Earth is flat, and then we get into a spaceship.
Here's a Sneakerhead. Can I be honest with you?
Down the Earth, and I show you that it's round, and then you telling me it was
okay.
flat. You know?
Can you?
Well, yes, Zelj. Yes. Okay.
Can you compare the
I blew off Reaker all weekend. Okay. I have these moments, right, where I hang out with Kay, and then I do like shit that is not. There's not like a ton of RP behind. And then, but I think I'm gonna have to start like, you know, being smarter in those situations and not just kind of like following the lead. You know what I mean? Because everything that I do, I'm always trying to make sure, chat, that there's RP reasons as to why we're doing things. Okay. Now, the other day, we pulled up on some cops with an AK and we started blasting them. All right, we started blasting them. Probably not the best RP situation, okay? Obviously. In my eyes, I look at it like I've been telling them I'm going to come after them for cracking down on the meth game. But I think I have to be more creative with how I do it. You know what I mean? Like, chat, remember when I set up the cops? Chat, remember when I set up the cops at the Playboy Bunny mansion? I set up the cops. I did like this elaborate all-day scheme. And then at the very end of the day, we set them up. And then we try to gun them down, but we lost anyways. Rather than me just kind of like pulling up on cops and then just like doing it that way. Like, there's got to be more RP reasons for me to be doing some of the things. But to be fair, chat, we've been a lot better, I think. I don't know if Sneakerhead and Zelj agree or not, but I think we have been doing pretty good. I did miss every shot, Zelj. Shut up, bro. I did. I do. I know I did. I missed every shot, bro. I know. Shut up. I don't want to start my own gang. I don't want to start my own gang. I don't want to start my own gang. I don't want to be, I don't really want to be in like, I don't know. I don't want to say out loud that I don't want to be in CG, But like I kind of just like having the freedom of whatever I do. You know what I mean? So I mean, if I was in CG chat and they gave me the freedom just to be me all the time, and like I don't think K would ever care. You know what I mean? I don't think K would ever care. To be fair, but like also, I just like being me regardless. Like I like the relationship I have right now with him. You know what I mean? It's like I will help them. I'll ride out with them. I'll do whatever for them. But like I'm not in the game. You know what I mean? And I think I kind of like it that way. You know, I think I kind of like it that way.
It's shots.
Yeah, for sure, Sneakerhead. I know. You're right. I know.
All right, with that.
But Sneakerhead, you guys don't hear about the good things I do. You and Zelge, you guys never hear about the good things I do, bro. I swear I do some good stuff. But I don't think you guys hear about it. You only hear about the stupid shit that I do on accident. It's not like a stupid thing I do on accident. It's kind of just a moment of me just not thinking. Never does good stuff. Oh, okay, so Zelge, you do see some good stuff then? Okay, thank God.